Blessings. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome to today's live interview with our March Woman of Influence, Destiny Thomas. We'll be getting started here in a few moments as our guest joins us. Thank you so much for coming live. Just going to take a few moments and set the atmosphere as we wait on our beautiful guest, our March Woman of Influence, Destiny Thomas. We're so grateful to have her grace our page this month. Truly thankful for her life. We're honored to have her. She's such a blessing to many. And if you all watched the live where she was on Daughters Talk, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So listen, without further ado, I don't want to hold anyone on today. We just want to hear from our guests on today. We want to hear the who, the what's, the whys, the hows, and everything from her as we interview her on today. So without further ado, I'm going to just bring up our guests. To some, I would like to introduce you to Destiny Thomas. Those of you who already know her, listen, you know that she is the prayer pest. And so I was like, prayer pest, Jesus, what's going on here? Listen, I said, all right now, Jesus. But listen, I just want to thank you all so much for coming on today. Thank you. Hey, lady.
Hi. How are
you?
Live. I'm so sorry. My son broke my ring light today, and I'm like, this lighting is terrible. Sorry.
Listen, it's an interview. We in here. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good.
Yeah.
Right? Look, I'm like, look, Jesus, I think I'm gonna take me a nap afterwards.
Now, nap, it's gonna be an early bedtime for me.
Right, get them in when you can get it. Listen.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for gracing the Day of the Daughters page. We are truly honored to have you grace the page and to be able to spotlight you for this month. Thank you again for your yes. Thank you for being a guest on Daughters Talk. It has truly been an honor to have you, a blessing to have you. And listen, just let the people know who you are. For those who don't know you, let them know who you are.
So I am Destiny Thomas. So hello, everyone. Sorry that you saw me moving my camera around. I was trying to get some lighting in here, okay? But thank you so much for having me, Rashida. I so appreciate you. But hello, everyone. My name is Destiny Thomas. I am known as Realizing Destiny or the Prayer-Pist, but mainly the Prayer-Pist. And that is because I assist, now I kind of niche down a little bit, but I assist entrepreneurs and creatives with going through a inner healing process known as therapy so that they can remove the ceilings they have created and go to their next level. I also am a prayer and discernment coach where I help millennials or help anybody who really wants my help hear the voice of God for themselves so they can walk into their purpose and really be everything he's calling them to be. An author, podcast host, conference host, those things. But that's who I am.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for letting them know a little bit about yourself. Also, just tell us how does that look? How did it get started? You know, just tell them what you do. You know, I know you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but what is a prayer-pist, or how did that come about? Just let them know a little bit about that. Whatever you feel led to share about that.
Well, I can definitely tell y'all how it started, what it is. I'm still kind of figuring out, like, God, what is this we doing here? You know, like, I'm just going with the flow. But how did it get started? A little backstory. I battled infertility for 3.5 years. And during that time, I felt like God rejected me. But closer to when I almost conceived my son, the Lord actually told me that the reason why I hadn't been hearing from him was because I was venting. I wasn't being intentional about being still and really letting him talk. He said verbatim, Destiny, how can you come to the one with all the answers and all the solutions to your problem, but leave with nothing? Right. And that really hit me. And I said, God, you know, I'm an analytic. I'm a green personality. God, if you show me how to be intentional about being still and really hearing your voice and hearing your strategy, I will commit to doing that going forward. And that's when he gave me those 6 steps that I share with everybody. And so in October of 2017, he put me to the test. He said, okay, now you hear from me. I'm calling you out of your corporate job. And I was like, I don't think I heard you right. And I left my corporate job just out of obedience, I knew that there was a void not being filled in corporate America anymore. And so I left, everybody thinking I was crazy, myself included. And he said, Destiny, I won't give you any next instructions until you leave. And when I left, he told me to write my first book about my infertility journey. And he told me to begin to go live on Facebook and just pray for people. And I said, God, now hold on, okay? You told me to go live and pray for people at 10 o'clock at night. I was working from 8 to 5, 8 to 4:30. So we could have did this without me leaving my job, sir. I really need some explanations and some understanding. But either way, he didn't give me neither of the above. He said, is you going to go live or not? Oh. And I started going live, and I really thought it was going to be kind of, you know, not throwing no shade, but kind of what you sometimes do see in Bible study, you know, the dear Lord, you know, those kind of prayers. And when I started going live, he began to start to download things in me about people's lives. And it was very uncomfortable, but I would hear it so clearly that I just had to release it. And people would DM me and say, oh my gosh, it's like you read my journal. How did you know this? I've been looking for answers about this for so long. And so a couple of the ladies who were coming on live consistently said, hey, can you teach me how you heard from him so well? And I was like, yeah, it's a no for me. I don't know nothing about nothing. Okay. And she was like, are you sure? Like you hear really, really well. And I was like, well, it's not me because I don't know you. So everything that's coming is from him because I never met you. And I was like, well, this is what I'll promise you. I said, I will take it in prayer because I know he told me to quit my job and this is his journey, not mine. I want to do whatever he wants me to do. And I took it in prayer and he said, yes, this is where your purpose lies. I want you to teach my children how to hear from me so that they can learn how to be obedient. But more importantly, I want them to hear from me because unfortunately, the way they're living their lives right now is as if I'm a deadbeat father, where I don't give strategy, instruction, direction, or a blueprint. They're making decisions and choices on their own, yourself included, Destiny, right? Making decisions on your own. And then you're coming and asking me to rubber stamp it. And that's not really how that works, right? And so I said, okay. I said, so God, how am I going to teach them though? And he said, share those 6 steps and it will unlock the key to everything. And he was so right because I think July of 2018, I had my first PFP class and we've been going strong ever since. So
listen, y'all, listen. I'm going to show y'all later. I was about to throw it up there, but I'm going to show y'all later this, when she talking about them 6 steps. Listen, I want to encourage you to get that journal. Listen, I'm telling you, it would change I'm gonna say change your life, but it would change your prayer, like right. How just even our approach, it has changed our approach to God, you know. And as y'all hear me say a lot, and look, I had to point, this is where I got it from. She got it from Jesus, but I got it from her. Listen. You got to give credit where credit due. But listen, where I talk to y'all about venting, that's where that came from. Mm-hmm. Like a few of my sessions, I'm like, oh, shot, Jesus, like, but that's where I got it from. And it's just like, it was just such a prayer changer. Let me say that, because you know how people say game changer, like, no, it was such a prayer changer, just even with the intimacy, just that relationship, just encouraging that relationship. And so, listen, y'all, I'm gonna let her keep going. Just you go ahead and just share whatever you want to share with them concerning the prayer prayers. If you want to share something with them about yourself, this is about just interviewing you on today, so you can share whatever you want to share. But yes, it is such a blessing. I'm telling you, connect with her. If the Lord is leading you to connect with her, because it is life changing. It's life changing.
Thank you. Amen.
God be the glory. Yes.
I would just say that it's so amazing how the 6 steps really started were the foundational pieces to me hearing from God. But just to know how just that small part had so much to do with my inner healing process. It just blows me away. And the reason why I say that is because we don't realize, God said this to me maybe a couple of months ago. He said, because, I'm not going to lie. I used to struggle so much about what it is that he called me to do. And I know I'm not a licensed therapist. So I'm like, Lord, I don't even want to go in that direction, but I know what you do and I know you do it well. Right. And so he said, Destiny, the fact that people would assume that I would put their ultimate healing in the hands of an imperfect human being just isn't me. Right. And so there has to be a part of every healing journey where I'm a part of it, because I am the creator. I'm the one who knows things that you would never know. And so just to know that he cared and loved me so much to just give me those 6 steps, but he knew that those would be what would save not only my life, it saved my identity, it saved my marriage. And the reason why is because it allowed me, like you said, Rashida, allowed me to be vulnerable with God in a way that I never knew how. And if I be completely honest, the reason why is because I was taught that wasn't possible, that I couldn't question God, that he didn't want me to do that God was just this, omnipresent, a higher being, that he just made these decisions that didn't make sense sometimes, and that was just that. And the reality is that's not true. God is omnipresent, absolutely, but God also promised to be our perfect Father, right? The one who loves us more than any human walking this earth, even my children, right? And so what kind of what kind of father would he be to make me stand before him and take an account for everything I've done and said, but not want any communication with me through it? Like, that's just not who he is. And this journey has just given me a passion to really, really educate people on who God is, right? Yes. And how he operates. Because when you sit back and you recite things you tell yourself, things that people have said about you that you've allowed to stick to you and stop you from being who you're called to be, you just be like, hold on, but that isn't even a line up with his word. Like he what? Like, so I just to know that, it really started and I want to shift a little bit, but it started in one of my darkest moments of my life. And so many times we are in the darkest moments, and Lord, don't get me emotional, but sometimes we are in the darkest moments of our lives and we, don't want to live. We want to take our lives. We're just like, God, how could this happen to me? Why me? And it really is all about perspective, because how dare you think you're going to create change in the kingdom? How dare you think you're going to be able to set a captive free? Like, come on, let's talk about the natural of setting someone free, but you don't have no story. You don't have no hard life. Like that's just not real, So yes, infertility was one of the darkest moments of my life. It was like, think about being a young lady who served God your entire life. You did it, quote unquote, God's way. You got married. You bought the house. You look. I even drove back then a R500 Mercedes-Benz van. Right. I drove the van because I knew God was giving me my kids. Okay.
Come on here.
All my friends was like, "Why did you buy a minivan?" I'm like, because listen, these kids is coming one day, right? And so like to have all of the quote unquote things, but yet instill your body and what you felt like, because those are your feelings lying to you, right? What you felt like, God rejecting you month after month, year after year, right? But the reality is that season of my life taught me what it taught me was, let me tell you what it really taught me. What it taught me is that I was a lot of mouth and no action, okay? That's what it taught me. Look, I could sing all the good hymns. I could read the Bible, but none of that was transforming. Okay, there was no transformation happening at all. I was listen.
Come on, Destiny. Come on.
That's what it taught me. It said, Destiny, I think you need to allow the words to impart, because right now they ain't sticking, honey. Some ain't working. And so, you know, a lot of us have been there, right? Yes. Where we're like, God, yes, God. We sing what? For your glory, right? That's everybody's song, right? Lord, for your glory, right? Look, I want to be where you are. Do you really, right? Because being where he is meaning you have to take some of those thorns that Jesus took. I'm sorry, right? You got to be willing to take your cross with you daily, right? And so it really just taught me that I didn't trust God like I said I did. I really didn't. It taught me that I was an entitled Christian, that as long as he was saying, yes, Destiny, here you go, I was good with God, right? Yes, God, I could speak in tongues all day and night as long as you give me what I want. But the minute you stop, I ain't got nothing to say to you, sir. Listen, I don't got nothing to say to you. Oh, but you put breath in my lungs for me to continue to have this problem. But I have nothing to say to you, okay? Because you have forsaken me. You ain't in the grave, honey. He ain't forsaken you. He just ain't giving you what you want.
Jesus. Oh my God. Okay?
So, but I realized that it was that journey that was so dark. I mean, my marriage was failing. Let me tell you, it was failing. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. It was going like this. I was like, God, don't you want to just give us the baby? It's gonna fix it. He said, girl, that ain't
right.
That is not going to fix none of this. You got to do some confronting, some accountability. Girl, this is not going to fix this. And what I don't do is I don't bless no mess. You ain't about to ask me to give you no child just to help the train crash, okay? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, okay? And the other thing I had to learn also in the journey of infertility was God, you know, because let's be honest, God has given people babies and their marriage isn't doing well, you know. But for me, he said, Destiny, the parent I have called you to be, the children I'm giving you, I wouldn't dare.
Come on.
And so many times where, God, what's my purpose? God, what's my assignment? Can you just tell me a little bit? But you're not ready and you're not willing to do the work required for it. I share all the time. I pray, Lord, show me my purpose. Lord, tell me why this void is in my chest at this job every day. And no lie, every time I would pray that, he wouldn't give me no lick or dream or smidgen of a purpose. He kept saying, hey, he would send somebody that I did not do well with standing up to for me to stand up to. And guess what? I felt every time. And I kept saying, God, are you not hearing what I'm asking?
That's how we do.
You're not hearing me. I'm asking you for my purpose, not to confront these people. But now, hindsight, right? The reality was I could never have been the therapist, not being able to stand up to people. Every single day, I have to look people in the face on the screen and say, hey, this is what I hear God saying, whether you agree or not. I don't know you from yesterday, today, and tomorrow, but this is what I hear God saying about your life, about your childhood, about your marriage, about your parenting. This is what I hear God saying. Whether you give me a smile or you want to punch me through the screen. Like, that's what I got to do, right? And so many times we don't move forward into our calling. We don't move forward into what God has for us because he's trying to deal with us in a particular area that is attached to who we are supposed to be.
Usha.
I'm just telling y'all the truth, you know? So if you feel like God promised me that I had a millionaire mantle, but every month you crying and asking God to pay your rent and your car payment and everything like that, you got to ask yourself, God, am I continuing to be here because I'm not a good steward of my finances and you're trying to get my attention here? I mean, the Bible tells us, you know, we have to steward what we already have before he gives us more. Sorry, the verbiage isn't correct, but you get my drift. That's what it say. That's what it say. But a lot of us is out here with our hand out like, okay, God, what you got for me next? And he's like, honey, you ain't cleaned your house in 2 months and you want a bigger house. Hey, that's the conversation he had to have with me. Oh, you so busy, but you keep praying for this house. Can you take care of these, 1,200, 1,300 square feet house you got right now?
Listen, Jesus.
Last month, I will tell you guys, look, I'm going to be honest. Look, last month, God had to get me all together, right? He led me to have this, I did this speech or, talk in front of this group. And he was downloading in me, that the problem with my people are they keep getting my orders sent to the back again. And I was like, huh? And he began to download, right? He began to download. And I was like, oh, God, that is good. So I'm going to give it to y'all, right? What he said was, the problem with us is God is sitting at the restaurant, right? And he's saying, I want shrimp pasta, okay? Meaning, I want you to write that book, right? I want you to steward your first blessing, which is your home, right? I want you to pay your tithes consistently, right? I want you to give to the homeless. This is what I'm telling you when I'm saying I want my shrimp pasta. However, because you the server, you keep coming saying, no, you want this filet mignon. God, what I want to do right now is I actually want to be in the limelight. God, I hear you telling me to fast from social media. I hear you telling me to pull back. I hear you telling me to separate myself and isolate myself. But what I want, what you want, God, is this filet mignon right now. And we are bold enough to write that as his order, take it to the back, have it made, and then take it to him. And he's like, that's not what I asked for.
Jesus.
We have to realize so we get too caught up in the and I excuse me. Listen, I'm an avid church goer. I'm part of the church. I love the church, but we get too caught up in the spiritual that we don't do none of the natural. Okay? Because listen, serving God is not just reading your word, praising and worshiping and praying. It's doing what he's telling you to do in that season. So are you really serving God? Because I've met in the last couple of weeks people who said they've been sitting on a book for 22 years. 22 years? Honey, so you've been getting God's plate sent back for 22 years?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, shy. Jesus. Oh.
And for why?
Mm-hmm.
And then he broke that down even deeper because a lot of times we say, well, God, it's because, what they going to think about it. And I don't want to write that. But the reality of it is you are operating from a spirit of pride. And when he started breaking that down, I said, hold on, God, I got to get myself together. Hold on. What you mean pride? Like I'm being humble. No. Operating from a spirit of pride is anytime you are saying to God, I know better than you know. And I said, that Father? Woo, hold on, I got clutch my pearls that ain't
I needed to take a moment. Father, forgive me. Listen. We're going to take a pause. Listen, those of us that need to repent, let's just go take a pause. We're going to do it right now. I don't know about y'all, but Father, forgive me. Listen, for operating in the spirit of pride. Listen here. Come on. You helping. Listen, come on. Thank you.
When I tell you, I'm giving this message and I'm over here like getting real hot, getting uncomfortable. I'm like, hold on. You could have had the sidebar before the conversation with me. Like you get me together in front of all these people, Jesus. But that's the reality of it, right? Because I kept saying, God, I have this issue with confidence. God, I know you keep telling me to show up a certain way and come in confident, but God, before I came out, my prayer to you was, God, don't I ever get in the way of you, God. Don't I ever take credit for what you are doing. And he said, yeah, you're right. You did pray that. And Destiny, you have proven to me that your heart is right. At this point, the spirit of humility or perverted humility can no longer go or now out of my will because I'm telling you to show up confidently, meaning that's how I'm telling you to serve me in this season, right? And I still was a little struggling with it until he said, but that's a spirit of pride. And I was like, oh, hold on. I don't want that, Jesus. Right? I don't want. But the reality is, anytime we're doing or showing up in a way that he's not asking, we're telling God we know better. God, listen. It was one young lady. He even was saying to her that because she was basically saying, God, you can't use me because I've messed up too many times, right? Oh. And when it was broken down, he was like, you're operating from a spirit of pride because you're basically telling me that the things I'm telling you I could forgive you for, I can't.
Jesus.
I said, like that makes you evaluate your whole life.
Right.
But it makes you show up totally different.
Yes.
It makes you like it blows a fire in you that you can't shake. I'm trying to listen. I've been different ever since because I'm like, listen, God, I ain't telling you I know right. You right. You know right. So if you say go, I'm gonna go, God. If you say write the book in 2 days, I'm gonna do it. Jesus, let's go. Look,
right, I'm through.
Can I have some coffee with it though?
Right.
Like, I don't even drink coffee, but whatever you need from me, like we can get it done.
Jeez.
But it really changed my whole perspective, and but not only about the highs, but about the lows.
Yes.
Saying that right now, this is my portion. Even though it's hard, even though it's uncomfortable, if you are saying that in this season, God, these people can't go with me, God, I have to be okay with that because I don't know better than you. And I definitely can't see further than you. And you know what's on the other. You know if I let them go, what's going to happen?
Yes, come on.
I can't be okay with that.
Yes. Jeez.
But listen, so I always say, Lord, I ain't trying to get your plate sent to the back. I want my tip this week. Look, I want my tip tonight.
Right, let me put it in correctly.
Look, hold on. You said no anchovies? Hold on.
Yeah.
Extra cheese?
Right, I'm going to check it and make sure everything good.
Listen. Look, don't get bothered by me asking you a couple of times. Is it right? Okay. You say you want me to. You say go this title. Okay. But it really put things in a different perspective for me. It really did because, we always, for most people, I won't say everyone, but we mostly think of pride as being boastful and high and mighty and things like that. But no, you better be careful. Because the same person you point your finger at is, they look. What's that saying? They said it's not even a saying. It's the scripture. The pride one. Rashida, help me.
Is it? Don't be asking me to help. Look, I'm running. Is it about where the man? He was like basically. He was saying, how did he say it? I'm not like. Basically, he was like saying like. He not like that person or what scripture? Let me look it up.
Right, I'm like, hold on, let me get it.
Like basically, like you better than them. Like you know.
But I'm like, look, we be the same one. Like Lord, get them.
I'm like them, or I ain't doing it like they doing it. So I'm good.
Look, last time I checked, the spirit of pride is the spirit of pride is the spirit of pride. It don't decipher. It don't separate, right?
Jesus. Come on, y'all. Help us out. Throw that scripture out there. Look, I think I know the right one she talked about. Oh, Lord, help me, Holy Spirit. Look, I'm calling on my helper. Help us, Holy Spirit.
Is it a scripture?
Well, I know that one.
Pride comes before the fall? No?
Pride, talking about destruction? Are you talking about that? I thought you was giving the illustration of where in the Bible it talks about how he gave the illustration about like how this one oh God, I'll get it.
Okay.
We'll get it. When we get off here, we're gonna get it. Y'all gonna help us too. Listen, they probably trying to get it too.
I'm like, Lord, you got Matthew. But it really honestly changed my perspective about just life in general. Just about, how and I realized what I realized, and it hurt. I ain't gonna lie, stung quite a bit, was that no matter what season you're in, there's going to be a way that you can find discomfort, right? And so even in my season now, if Rashida knows personally that I was praying for God to give me my second child. Jesus. For a while, like, God, you said I'm no longer an infertile woman. You showed that by my first child, Lord, I'm ready for the second child. So then I got pregnant and child, excuse my language, but all hell, HELL broke loose. Like it did. Like my pregnancy was hard. I was throwing up and sick every single day. He came out when I was 6 centimeters dilated. So he just was doing stuff that ain't normal. Like, And then I'm an entrepreneur, and so having a newborn with entrepreneurship is way different than having a corporate job. Okay, and I found myself like griping about it, and oh, this is just so hard, and God had to check me and say, Destiny, first of all, this is what you asked for.
Yes.
You specifically said, Lord, when you give me my second child, make it be in a way where I can stay home with my baby consistently, where I can watch my baby grow and not miss certain important things in my life, right?
Yes.
I mean, certain important things in his life or hers, because I thought it was gonna be a girl, but we ain't gonna go there. but you know, and instead of really sitting in that and realizing how he answered my prayers,
Yes.
I found something to gripe about.
Yes.
I found something to not be happy about.
Yeah.
Now let's be clear. God wants us to be honest with him. He wants us to tell him how we really feel. So it's nothing wrong with that. But you want to make sure you're not watering that. You're not sitting in that, because that's where we go wrong, right? God says, bring it to us. But what did he say? Release your burdens to me, right? He is the one who takes the burden. But if you crying about it every time you go in prayer, honey, you ain't gave that to God. You taking it with you when you leave. Like, that's just that, you know? So you want to make sure that you are, and I realized the reason why I had so much struggle there is because I myself haven't fully learned how to celebrate small wins. And, you know, we're going through some inner healing of why and all of that, but most people don't. It's like, what's next? What's next, God? What's next? What's next? You gave me the husband. Okay, where the children? You gave me the children. Where the house? We like we always looking for something. And the reason why is because of, you know, social media and comparison and coveting and things like that, right? That we're never happy. And even with that, God had to check me and say, Destiny, if you ever are questioning me of why I didn't give you something that someone else has, you're basically saying I made a mistake when I made you. And I was like, I mean, God, you don't got to be so rough and tough, you know, with your Afro puffs. Like, okay. I mean, I was just saying I would like, you know, okay, you're right. You're right.
Right.
But he's right. God, why didn't you make my eyes like hers? Why didn't you make my hair like hers? Why didn't you make, you know, you're saying, God, the amazing creator that you are, the intricacy that you took with making me was not enough. You got it wrong.
Jesus.
And I'm not happy with what you did, God. Which, once again, leads us back to a spirit of pride, because you know better, huh?
Yep.
Not knowing that the husband that you're crying for me to help bring, or the husband that you're crying for me to bring to you is going to be led to you because the color of the eyes that I gave you.
Yes. Come on. Jesus.
I mean, I'm glad. I mean, you know, I'm intentional about everything I do. Y'all be out here doing stuff willy-nilly, but me, no, there's intention.
Everything yes, he is. Yes, he is. Woo. Ooh. Gee, girl.
But this is the kind of conversation he be having with me, and I be like, okay.
And you know, this real quick, I want to insert something, just that what you were just saying, and I'm with you on that. Like, I don't know how he talked to you, but I know how he talked to me. And people like would like why are you so hard on yourself? No. It's not that I'm hard on myself. No, I'm honest with myself. And if God is talking to me, listen, he knows me. Mm-hmm. He knows me. Listen, he knows me better than I know me. Come on, right, he really know them thoughts. He know all them inner. Come on here, listen, the heart. Listen, come on, the wickedness. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but
listen.
And if we really want to get honest, come on, let's really have some honest conversation. Now, why he talking to you like that? Let's really talk about it. Right out in the camera.
Where you not being honest with yourself with, honey? Like, come on, like.
Right. Is that like when you turn on all the noise and then that's we not gonna go there tonight, Jesus. We not gonna do it. We not. Destiny, you go ahead, Destiny. We ain't gonna do it tonight.
No, but you're right. You know, you're right. You know, it saddens me. It really does, Rashida. It saddens me the level of accountability we have as a society. It saddens me because on the opposite of that scale, we can point a finger. We could tell somebody how they ain't getting into heaven. We could read you up and down in 3 pages, back and forth. Okay.
Yes.
You going straight to hell because you said too small. Like we want to deem everybody going to hell. We just do, like, not we, but people, and it's sad.
Yes.
It's sad because the thing about it is the same fingers you point, and you will never point at yourself. You will never, and I promise, Rashida, I cry to God because I'm not, listen, honey, me ain't perfect, okay? But I cry to God and I say, God, Lord, anything that I can call out, and when I say call out, not this whole social media beef and not, no, I'm talking about in my prayer community when I'm having one-on-ones. God, Lord, please, anything that you want me to call out of someone else, please let me call it out of my, check me, okay? Check me.
Come on, Destiny. Come on.
But the thing about it, and we had a conversation actually on our prayer call the other day, was it's unfortunate, but the majority of us are looking for validation and affirmation so much so that we are seeking approval from everybody but God. Right?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, there was one young lady on the call, and I'm not going to say her name or anything, but she was saying to us, because we were doing a fast and everything like that. And she was like, guys, I just want to come up here and say, I failed. I did get on social media. I did do this and I did do that. And I wanted to let her finish, but the Lord said, stop her right now. He said, the reason why she's sharing this with you all, because she wants your validation and approval. She hasn't even came and repented to me yet. And when he said that, I was like, dang, like, do I be repenting to God first? Like, before I be like, guys, I messed up. Like, but that was real, because we do that. And I said, I'm not gonna lie, that's why I'm real funny about corporate fast, because it gets real, like, who are you doing it for? Is you doing it for God?
Yes. Come on.
Who are you doing it for? What is your intentions?
Yeah.
Like I said, God is very intentional. What are your intentions? And a lot of I commend those who run corporate fast, because this is hard for me, and this is my first one. It was kind of hard. He got me waking up every morning at 6 a.m. I'm like, Lord, can we do 7:15? Like, come on, Jesus. But I commend people who are doing it. But I've always, listen, Rashida, listen, don't put me nowhere I ain't got no place been. This is about God.
Yes.
Look, don't say Destiny. You need to talk to. Listen,
yes.
I don't want. Listen, I got enough to stand before God for. I don't want to stand before Him for you. I just don't. I just don't want to do that. Okay. So go before Him and get it. But really ask yourself, if you're fasting, if you're praying, if you're even worshiping, like, what are your intentions? Because if a lot of us be real honest, we do it very manipulatively. It's manipulation in it. God, okay, I'm gonna pray these 3 days and fast, God, because I know I'm my husband on the other side. Girl, what? First of all, you got a prioritization issue, because the fact that you got to fast and pray right now for these 3 days, but I ain't heard from you for the rest of the last 6 months, there's a bigger problem here. And I'm not about to give you somebody to put before me and use it's your husband now as the reason. Like, no. No, we God ain't have us sitting in the house for COVID for no reason. There's some self-assessment, some accountability,
yes,
some getting yourself realigned ability required.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
And a lot of us did not do the work. We just sat on social media griping. Oh, I lost my job. And not saying that those things are not real. Yes, your emotions are, look, you can feel your feelings. However, did you ask God, why is this happening? No, because you're just complaining. There was a job in my corporate job that I had applied for. Don't get me wrong. I think it was 6 times, maybe 7. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kept applying because I was like, they're gonna give me this job. Okay, they are going to give me this job. They just don't know that I am more than qualified. Okay, they just don't know it, Rashida. They just did not see the light glimmering from my little eye. Okay? So I had applied for this job like 6 times, right? Never did I ever ask God if it was the one, but
just a plan and a plan.
oh, it's up again. This is my time, okay? You know, and I didn't get the job. So I had KJ, and I heard God clearly say, Destiny, when you return to that job, I want you to go part-time, right? I was like, okay. So God, if I go part-time, I cover my family with medical. Like, that ain't gonna work, Jesus. Like, and my husband's medical is a no for me. Okay. So what we gonna do? And he's like, don't worry, I got you. Right? I got you. Right? What did he do? He rolled out medical for part-time employees in January, and KJ was born in February, right? So it was clear of what he wanted me to do, right? So I was like, bet, okay, we gonna go part-time. We got this, let's go, God, let's go. And I went to my manager and my supervisor. I was like, I want to go part-time, this is what we doing. So I got back to work. They were putting in my paperwork for part-time, and the hiring manager for that position that I applied for 6 times, okay, came to my desk. And she said, Destiny, I know you're just coming back from maternity leave, but did you see that we had the position up? I said, oh, I saw it. But I'm going part-time, and y'all don't take part-time people, so yeah, that ain't gonna work. And she was like, no, girl. She's like, I know you just had the baby. You wouldn't even have to apply. I want to give you the position. She said, and we will let you set your own hours. Girl, it sounded like a miracle. It sounded like the Lord. No, it didn't. But look, but you know what? The post that I put up on social media said it was the Lord, okay? Look, and that's what we do. God just got me this new car. You about to be paying $655 in a car payment that you cannot afford. God did not do that, honey. And we got to start being honest with ourselves. I'm just saying, because my post said that God gave me that job, and I knew that God didn't give me that job. So come
on, Destiny. Come on.
Listen. But because they came to my desk, they came looking for me. God gave me that job.
Come on. Listen.
I took that job, right? And I cried every day going to work. And I don't mean just tears. I mean, God, what did I do? Listen, I cried going to work because I had so much warfare. I had, a lady who told me she was into Ouija boards and witchcraft and everything. She looked me in my face and she said, my spirit told me that our spirits don't match. So I've been doing some stuff on you. You've been doing who? And you know what was the scariest part of it all? Was the fact that I knew I was in disobedience, so I was no longer under the grace of God, and I didn't know what
Jesus
in the wrong place at the wrong time doing the wrong job. Okay,
Jesus, come on, Jesus, woo, Jesus.
So when the next time he came and said, "Girl, it's time to leave your job," I was like, "Pack up the bags." I don't need to know how nothing getting paid, Jesus. My husband think I'm crazy, but we out of here, okay? Cause you came around a second time. Listen.
Yes.
Nobody could help me. I mentally was going crazy in my mind, and yes, I could call on God. Driving to work, I would pray my praise and worship music and step in the building, and it all seemed like it ain't go nowhere. He said, you somewhere you ain't got no business being no more.
Ooh, shy.
And a lot of us are frustrated because we feel like we caught COVID, and God, why you give me COVID, right? God, why you let this happen? No, God, listen, my entire family caught COVID, but God didn't give me no COVID. You know what happened? God told me to go sit down somewhere and rest. Right? He said, Destiny, after this conference, I need you to go sit down somewhere and rest. And my rest and his rest just want the same definition. Okay? We're on 2 different pages, okay?
Come on.
And because I didn't rest and I didn't sit down somewhere, I put myself in a position where I was no longer under the grace and covering of God. Jesus, and I caught COVID. Right? But that goes back to that accountability piece. Oh, we don't want to talk to God until something go wrong and now it's his fault. No. You've seen every red, green, yellow, and purple flag before you got in that relationship. You've seen them. I saw them. We all saw them.
Try not to go there.
And you still dated them. Oh, I'm sorry. You still married them.
Oh, shit. Listen, I was going to say something about my own testimony. Listen. I said, no, Jesus, maybe this ain't the time. Here you go, Lord. Listen. She hitting on it, y'all. Listen. Oh, God. I had to pay the price for some years because of my disobedience. Listen, come on, listen, y'all, listen. Hey,
God, this is the one. No, you're right. Once you go in a covenant, God can do miraculous things, but you ain't had no business there in the first place.
Whoop. Come on.
That's why accountability. I get look. Don't be on the phone with me telling me every excuse under the blue, purple, and green sky. Don't do that, because I'm like, honey, no, you just not taking no accountability. Like, what did you do? What you talking about? What God did? What your mama did? Your daddy? Your uncle? What did you do? Jeez. You 42 and you still ain't taking no accountability.
Oh God.
Because honestly, that's the only way that I was able to be healed by God in the capacity He wanted me to be healed. And a lot of us is walking around here broken and just with so much hatred and jealousy and covetousness and just all types of stuff. We're just walking around with all types. We just hate everybody. Or we hate everybody and we being funny and acting like we love everybody. Like, you over here looking at homegirl post and you just look at her. And that girl ain't got nothing. She didn't even worry about you. She worry about her, right? Oh, look at her. Mm-hmm. She always throwing on the social media. Like, no, you're just mad, honey. You need to deal with you.
Come on, Destiny. Come on here.
And I'm just saying this because, listen, that's where I was. God, why was coming up, right? But you know what helped me? I had to be honest with God.
Jesus.
I had to say, God, now I know that I ain't supposed to feel like this.
Come on.
But we assume and we think because we hide it, because it's happening only in my mind, God, that it's happening only in the privacy of my own home, that there is no fruit being bared from that. Oh no, honey, we see it.
Come on. Oh, Jesus.
We see it in your miserableness every day. We see it in your subliminal post every 10 minutes. We see it.
Jesus.
The hardest pill that Destiny Thomas ever had to swallow was being in prayer saying, Lord, change that man. Lord, you gave this man, change him. What about you?
Come on.
I said, what about me? You're my father. I know you his father. I'm talking to you. What you mean? What about me? He said, that's me. What about you?
Come on, Destiny. Come on here.
What's the transformation of your heart?
Come on.
That out that will change the heart of another.
Lord.
It's our life. The way we live our lives that will show people who the God we serve is. And that's starting with accountability, honesty, vulnerability.
Come on. Can you hit a little bit on that vulnerability? Listen.
Vulnerability. I think I shared this on the last time we talked, but I had a young lady who was who was struggling with pornography and masturbation. We all grown adults, right?
Come on here.
She was struggling in that area and she just would cry like, Destiny, I feel so shamed and so dirty when I do it. But I won't look. I go to it, right?
Yes.
You know. Yes. I said, now I'm about to tell you to do something that's it's going to seem strange, right? It's going to seem a little strange, But I promise it will set you free.
Come on.
I said, I need you to go in prayer, and I need you to admit to God, like you admit it to me on this screen here, that you like it.
Yes. Come on.
Like it.
Whew.
And that you want God to remove the likeness that you like from it.
Come on.
Because what you're doing is you're allowing the enemy to keep you in bondage because you're hiding it.
Woo! Jesus.
And we're all under this impression, well, God sees all, he does, but God is an invitational God, meaning even though he sees it, he's not going to put his hand on it. He's not going to touch it. He's not going to clean you from it. He's not going to remove you from it until you say, God, I got a problem here.
Hello, somebody. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, God.
And a lot of us are constantly going through the same cycles. We ended up in the same relationship with a different name. That was Tyrone, now this Mike, but they're the same person over and over again because you're not saying, God, I'm trying to fulfill a void that only you can feel, but I like the attention that they're giving me. We have to be honest, people. The accountability will set you free, I promise. And the vulnerability, the honesty, it will set you free. God, I had to say, God, when it comes to me and my husband, the reason why we argue so much, God, because I got pride in me. I feel like I know it all, God.
Come on here. Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
God, show me how to apologize. I couldn't even apologize. God, show me how to apologize. And it comes from a genuine place. That's a little dirty. Oh, I'm sorry, I guess. You know, if your feelings was hurt. No, Lord, show me how to give a real apology.
Yes, come on, Destiny.
Oh, a genuine apology. Even to my friends, Lord, show me how to be real. Let me tell you, my friendships have changed when I said, you hurt me by doing. A lot of times we do this little petty, passive aggressive, oh, you got time for your other friends, but not me. No, my feelings are hurt when you choose to hang out with them, but always reschedule with me. That's all you got to say. It's the truth. It's the truth. And people respond to your emotions because guess what? They can't change how you feel. They can only acknowledge and create change of your feelings. But we be upset with people because I told them they hurt my feelings. You didn't tell them that. You was passive aggressive and they shut down and they didn't want to hear nothing else you had to say because you was being way too aggressive.
Whoo! My.
That's just what it is. And so I let my children correct me, and not in a disrespectful way, but I tell my son, there's times where I be mad. You know, he do little stuff and I be like, what are you doing? He like,
yes, come on.
You didn't have to yell like that. And I don't be like, don't be telling, like, that's what most people do. Don't be telling me you ain't gotta yell. I said, you're right. I didn't have to deliver it that way, but I'm still hurt that you did that. I still feel a way that you made that decision, knowing the right decision, right? But a lot of us, our problem is accountability. We don't nobody tell us we wrong.
Lord have mercy.
And if nobody can tell you wrong, God ain't gonna tell you you're wrong, because guess what? You ain't gonna receive it from him any different than you receive it from anybody else.
Whoosha.
Well, you know, if God told me, you ain't gonna receive it either. Then you gonna tell God you ain't know the whole situation, God.
But that's the problem. God can use whomever he wants. That the problem is, like you said, is us. We not receiving going on with us. Jesus. And he's sending us back because you ain't listening. We ain't listening to him anyway. Come on, David. Jesus, come on.
Because one thing about God, he always tell you first, okay? He tells you first. I'm like, oh, let me go back to my journal. Oh, you did say that. Yeah, I said it about 3 times. Did you? I had to put it in your face, so I sent your mama. Like, come on.
Right, then you're going to get upset.
Bro, my mom used to come and tell me stuff, and I'd be like, what? Like, she's like, you got a problem receiving from me. I'm like, it's the way you say it. It's the way you say it. No, you just don't want to receive it, honey. Like, that's me and my husband's biggest thing. I used to be like, it's your delivery. It's your delivery. And God said, God's exact words were, stop getting your panties in a bunch of how that man delivers things, because I deliver it to you harsher and you move quicker. I said, well, I guess I can't use delivery no more. You got a point there, guy. You're right. I do move very quickly when you get me together, and you don't cut no corners. Okay, so okay, you're right.
Yeah, that right there. Yeah. Ooh.
And the last thing I'll say is, he just told me, because I was speaking again, and he be getting me together in my own. I was like, oh God, you could have prepared me. But I was sharing on this platform, and we were talking about how, God calls you out of your job, or God gives you your assignment, right? And we just be so, God, I'm on fire, right? Jesus, right? But we be so on fire that our husband can't tell us nothing. Hold on. He can't tell you. God talks to me, okay? I ain't seen you in the word in a couple of days. God ain't talking to you, and God was like, child, Lord, get me together, okay? But God was like,
yeah, no,
there's order. And sometimes you have to be willing to disobey me to follow my order, because hold on, I made him the head. If he ain't in agreement with it, honey. I said, hold on, God, I need you to slow that down and rewind that back for me. Give it to me one more time. You are not single Susie anymore. You're married, okay? And not the singers, right? Okay. And so when you chose to go in covenant, right? When you chose to say, this man is my man and you his woman, right? You came in covenant with my order, okay? And my order doesn't change for anybody, not even your little feelings, okay?
Oh, child.
Because one thing about me, God, one thing about me is I know him just like I know you.
Come on. My head.
And do you know that it was real hard every time, because it happened a lot of times. Every time I had to go back to my husband and be like, hey, you know, God told me to do this. He was like, that's the same thing I told you to do 2 months ago. And he literally started having an issue with my relationship with God because he's like, hold on, I'm confused. So God made me the head of this household, but he's backing me in a corner where he only giving you direction. He said that's out of order. That's not, God is a God of decency. He would get hyped. God is a God of decency and order, and you are out of order. That's what he would say, right? I'm like, so you want me to be disobedient to God? For God? Is that what you said? When it's all said and done, I can't stand in front of God and say I didn't do it because my husband didn't let me do it. He's gonna make me take an account. He said, Destiny, God is a God of order.
Yes.
And God's not gonna back me in a corner in my own house. Now, I'm not talking about what you're doing with your career, right? That's separate. I'm talking about the stuff you coming to me about. We gotta do with this house, how we handle these bills. Like, God ain't about to tell me through my wife without giving me any say so about it. And I was like, okay, all right, God, you got me together. Okay, I will humbly yield.
My.
When I tell you that was a hard pill, okay? Because I told you I was still asking God to show me how to say I'm sorry. So you want me to not only say I'm sorry, but I was wrong?
My God.
But, you know, that's that thin line of being, you know, overzealous for God. We got to make sure we do it with decency and order. Because look,
Jesus,
we're gonna make you take an account for how you was out of order more than you not doing that assignment that you think you had to do. And I realized that if I would have yielded, it wasn't that my husband most of the time was even against it. It was just the fact of how it was brought. That he was like, oh, well, if you're going to say that my only option is this, then no, we're not doing it. So what you going to do now? So we actually put ourselves in a position sometimes to not be supported, to not, you know, have their buy-in simply because of our delivery. And I always say, you know, it's so important that we don't only deliver the message that God gave us to deliver, but we deliver it right. How?
Yes.
Because listen, I could tell you something 3 different ways, and it will be received 3 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So we sometimes when we're overzealous, and it's not coming from a bad place. We're just excited to do the will of God, you know. And especially when you set me free from corporate and I was drowning. Okay, look, I'm ready to be whatever you need me, God. You know. But the reality is, this journey is about a partnership. He's not gonna have you in covenant with nobody that y'all not coming together, because God is not a God that has you growing and maturing separately, right?
Yes.
Even if it started not his way, once he brings you guys together, God, if you yield to God, he's going to have you growing together, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes we mess it up ourselves because we got our hands in too much and we're not yielding and allowing God to actually lead how it goes. And so that just was a big lesson he taught me recently. I know I done gave y'all about 5 lessons he done taught me, but they helped me, so I just wanted to help somebody else because listen, they got me all the way together, okay?
Yes. Wow. Well, this kind of like a safe lock right now. Listen, you just share what he's giving you to share, and I'm telling you, he is over giving me stuff. I'm like, oh, shot, Jesus. Okay, I want you gonna do this. Y'all gonna, because there's conversations to be had. There's some times, you know, so I'm gonna begin with you. Prophetess Yolanda, I know you're still on here. I'm going to be in contact with you. Listen, God is putting some things together for us wives. And so I'm going to be reaching out to y'all real soon. I want to be obedient, let them give it to me. And then I'll be reaching out. Yes. Because, we Destiny, I'm not going to hold you any longer. But a young lady and I was just having these conversations today on almost everything that you touched on, that he had you touch on today. And I'm just like, okay, my God, like I have learned so much and grown so much, like you said, just through him dealing with me. You know, like you said, getting me together. Listen here, come on, sis, let's deal with this. Let's deal with, listen, just from past me. I mean, you hit, I'm just like, Lord. Listen, they over in the comments like, woo, wait. But this is so good. And I noticed some of the comments were saying, like, this is so needed. It is. These are the type of conversations, just even have, whether it's just that intimate time that people, they need this. This is like everyday life. Like you're living, you're in a marriage, or even those who want to be married, even teaching them how to prepare, the things that some of us have learned, can help teach others. And this is like, look, you saying you're ready? No, you're not ready. And it's okay. Sit down. Look, let's, because why? It's not necessary for you to have to go through things that you don't have to go through. Just listen.
Listen. I was like, Lord, one of us ain't gonna make it out of here alive. Okay, listen. You sure I can't leave? Like, you sure?
Woo!
Listen. You know that I wrote my whole second book about that, how throughout my life God kept trying to make me confront me.
Yes.
And I was like, that's their loss, they just didn't know how I was, they didn't know who I was. And God was like, oh, you married now, honey, you gonna look in the mirror now, you gonna deal with you now? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And he like, okay. And that marriage started going like this real quick.
Yes. Yeah, some of us getting that Miriam spirit. God ain't he only one talking to you. He talking to me. Oh Lord, yes.
You need to clear your ears because he ain't talking to you. Okay?
And just off, we just as often thinking we so on and we so off.
God said, listen, I'm confused. You telling people that I sent your husband to you, but I would send a man to you that can't speak to you from me? I said, ooh.
Yeah. Well, on that note, look, y'all, look, this is an interview. I was gonna say, look, we need a part 2. Look. This how he do it. Look, I'm like, this supposed to be an interview, but it's gonna be however he wanted to be. That's what it's gonna be, right?
He gonna get people whatever they need today, okay? Y'all gonna get it right now today.
I receive it, Jesus. I receive it, Jesus. Listen, we ain't on here just like, oh yeah, we gonna receive and we're gonna execute that which we received on tonight. This word is not in vain. We're gonna take it because he loves us. And the thing is too, what I was just noticing, God loves us so much.
Yeah.
He loves us so much that he will create this day in this time. You know what I mean? Like that. His love is mind-blowing. That's how concerned about us that he is. Like he already know. He knows. We may not know, but he knows everybody and what everybody needs and where they're at, right? And like you say, he's so intentional. He's so intentional and strategic that he would strategize this day. Come on here. And he would have Destiny to be here on this day at this time, right? Because she could have been doing something else, but God, and he's just, his love is just, we cannot fathom his love. We cannot fathom his love. He is so awesome. But Destiny, thank you so much for just taking this time. If you don't have anything else, because like I said, I don't want to rush you, but I don't want to hold you. I appreciate and respect your time. Listen. But if you don't have anything else, if you would like to let the people know of anything you have going on, any books or anything like that, whatever you want to share, then please go ahead and you can do so. And like I said, if it's something else you want to share, you're more than welcome to. But just let them know how they can get in contact with you and all of that.
I would just say, this is not a time in our life. I mean, never is, but this definitely is not a time in your life where you don't know what God is telling you to do. I really do feel sorry for people who don't hear from God, who don't know it's God, like, because there's so much that He downloads in me daily. It's so much like, Destiny, go here at this time. And the favor that's there is just mind blowing, right? Yeah. But if I would have just been doing what I wanted to do because I ain't listened to him or I ain't hear him, I wouldn't have been there, because I know me, I be dragging my feet with everything sometimes. Like, this baby, I got to make this baby bag. Like, God, I'm going to go tomorrow. Look. So being able to hear from him and know what he wants and when he wants me to do it, it's powerful. Yeah. And that this is yet again a reminder of just how good and just good he is to us, right? And so, right, on April 1st, I am hosting a challenge, a 7-day challenge of how to hear from God. I actually share those 6 steps in the challenge that transform my life, like Rashida said. And I always like to say it transformed my life because it gave me the steps. It opened that door for me to hear from God. And once you can hear from God, it affects your entire life. Like, that's just what it is. Like I said, I'll be in an argument with my husband. I used to be in an argument, and I would hear the Holy Spirit say, "Okay, that's enough. Stop talking." And I'll pull back, and it would end totally different than it would before, because I keep going, oh, I know what button I could push, right? And so it just changed my entire life, because now he's literally like a coach to me, where he tells me what to do, what to say. And now you got to be obedient enough to yield to it too. Let's say that. But he really does want to be a part of our everyday lives. And so I would encourage you to sign up for that. But in regards to how you can find me, even how you can sign up for that, just go to realizingdestiny.com. If you search Realizing Destiny on any platform, you will find me on Instagram. It's realizing_destiny. On Facebook is Destiny, Realizing Destiny Thomas. But I just would encourage you to be intentional about being obedient to God. And I guess the last thing I would leave you with is something that set me free a long time ago was I call it the hamburger method. And what it is if I woke up this morning, I would not need anybody to confirm for me that I wanted a hamburger. I wouldn't need to say, Rashida, is my taste buds lying to me? Do I really, really want a hamburger? No, I would just go get it. Of course, I wouldn't, because I'm trying to lose some weight. But anyways, let me talk about that. But I would go get the hamburger, right? And I would be confident that I want a hamburger, because my taste buds would never lie to me, right? But the thing with God is we do the total opposite. We think it's God, but we need him to confirm himself 15 million times before we move. And God said, Destiny, you're doing it all wrong. If you think it's me just a little bit, then that is enough ammunition for you to go. So I'm going to set you free tonight and let you know that God has enough grace and mercy for you, that if you go, he's going to honor your intention to obey him, because you heard him even just a little bit. And he has enough grace and mercy to reroute you, redirect you, or give you a new detour. But you need to move. A lot of us are sitting and saying we're waiting on God. And I promise you, you ain't waiting on him. The ball has been in your hands. The game is almost over, and you have not thrown that shot because you are saying you're waiting on him. So can you please finish the book? Can you please start taking care? Look, start cooking dinner. Could you please listen? Do whatever you hear him saying. Can you please do that? Please do that, because I promise you, he is waiting for you to take the first step so that he can meet you where you are. Listen, God wants to take your hand and he wants to lead you to the promised land. He wants to lead you out of the wilderness. But a lot of us are choosing to stay there because we are too afraid that he's going to come with a paddle and whoop us for making the wrong decision. God is not your father and your mother, okay? He's not. I promise you, he made you imperfect because he knew you would make a mistake. That's all I got. That's all I got for you.
man, that was good. That was powerful. I like that hamburger method. Y'all see that hamburger? Yes, prophetess. Yes, me too. Me too, prophetess. No more excuses. Look, as Tara said on her book, no more excuses. Listen. Ooh, all right, hamburger. People say, Dr. Hot Tower, hamburger. Listen, all right, well, that's a good note to stop at. That right? That's hey, listen, that is definitely a Selah moment. Listen. Listen, go to her website, go to her Shopify. Listen, look, Jesus, Lord have mercy. Get some of her apparel. Listen, I'm gonna be wearing my Realizing my voice on next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday. Because see, the Lord has a word that He started with me first concerning that Realizing your voice, my voice. And then talk about another thing, and He brought it through my husband. I said, okay, then Jesus. Listen, go check out her book. I believe you have 2 volumes, right?
So this is the first one, and then the second one, yeah.
Yeah, so she has a volume 1 and a volume 2, A War I Couldn't Win Alone. And then she has another book, How Prayer.
This is volume 2 of the same story. So yeah, this is
okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So this is volume 2, How Prayer Peace Saved My Marriage. Listen, go check out and listen. This journal right here, she talked about them 6 steps. I'm gonna need you to go on Shopify and go ahead and go and make your purchase. Listen, I'm gonna put it on up there. I'm gonna put the link on up there. But listen, go check her out. Or you can even go to her Facebook page. Listen, go get that journal. Listen, and then listen. I'm gonna tell on myself another thing, y'all. Be consistent with it. Help me today, Jesus. But I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you, Destiny, for having us. Listen, if the Lord is leading you to connect with Destiny, please go on Facebook, check her out. You can check her out on Instagram. You can check her out on her website. She is just, I love her. I love her. And I thank God for connecting us, when He connected us. And it's just truly been a blessing. And she gonna tell you what the Lord said, whether you like it, your flesh like it or not. Okay, here, listen. She was talking to me about control. And I said, Jesus. But I got delivered. And it's been amazing. It's amazing. And just that freedom. And now he uses me to help others to recognize that spirit of control and how to relinquish it. And so I thank God. Listen, I went to my spiritual mother on her. Listen.
She did. She was like,
Listen, we just being honest. Listen. But the thing was, I knew it was God because He kept drawing me back to her. Listen, y'all, come on here now, right? Because she was speaking truth to me. And that's what I love. And I'm drawn to that. Don't be trying to tickle my ears. Don't be saying something that you think I want to hear. No. I'm concerned about myself. I want to know what are you really saying to me? What you really said about me. Listen, all that other stuff gonna come because it's promised. You know what I mean? Like, right. I want my character to be right. Listen here. Come on, listen.
That accountability. God, show me how to be accountable, please.
Come on here. I don't need no yes man. I need somebody to tell me the truth. Listen here. Even when I don't like it. Listen.
Tell me I'm a little sharp with my tone. Tell me.
Come on here. Come on. You hit it with them kids. Listen. That's what I said. We got to, yes, Jesus he working that thing out. So I'm going to let Him do what He do. I'm just going to obey Him. But I love you. Thank you so much. Tell hubby, thank you so much. Tell the kids, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to have this time with you. We so appreciate it. And thank you all so much. Don't forget to connect with her. She's been spotlighted on our page. You can go and check out some of the spotlighting that we're doing on her. But check her out on her own accounts on social media, her social medias, which is Facebook and Instagram. Is that all you said you were on, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only ones I can keep up with. Okay?
Or her website, yes. So we love you. Thank you so much, Destiny, for just allowing God to use you on today on this live interview. And I love you so much. And I'm going to get off because I don't want to keep talking about I love you, but I do. I love you all. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. Thank you for those who will watch the replay. Thank you for the love and support. Y'all have a great night and a great weekend. All right. Blessings.